What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So guys, there's a micro brand that's kind of already made their rounds around YouTube. I know they've been reviewed by a few different watch channels here already, and you guys have asked for my opinion on their watches, and I couldn't really give you an opinion because I hadn't even seen their watches until today. It's 12:05 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at some Straton Watch Company chronographs. You asked for it and I'm going to give it to you. So guys, Straton Watch Company actually sent me 4 different watches to review. They all seem to be different variants of their Legera chronograph line. So here in the office today we have the Legera Bullhead Automatic and its Mecha Quartz counterpart, and we have the Legera Standard Automatic chronograph and its Mecha Quartz counterpart. Now guys, first impressions on these watches, they look like some sporty retro racing chronographs, and you know I love that aesthetic. Some really cool chronographs in my own collection, my Omega Speedmaster Moon Watch, my Straton DS2 Chronolympic, and my Seiko 6139. So guys, out of these two models, the Legera Bullhead and the Legera Standard, I much prefer the Bullhead. In fact, out of the 4 watches they sent me, I'm actually really drawn to this one. Now this Legera Bullhead is listed as the brown variant, but it kind of has a burgundy hue. It's really reminiscent of the Seiko 6138 Bullhead, a watch that's becoming increasingly difficult to find in original, good, working condition. I want that watch so badly. But yeah, you definitely see some similarities between this watch and the Seiko 6138, you know, those rectangular subdials, but this watch actually has a unidirectional rotating bezel. So I know what you're thinking, why does this racing chronograph have a unidirectional rotating bezel? It's not really a dive watch, but all of these Legera chronographs do have threaded crowns and 100-meter water resistance ratings. Now guys, I'm honestly kind of a bit bummed because out of the 4 watches they sent me, this one is easily my favorite, and this is the Mecha Quartz variant. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Mecha Quartz movement they chose. They're using the Seiko VK67 Mecha Quartz movement, a really good movement. I have watches with that Mecha Quartz movement. I just wish this one was the automatic. It looks really cool, and it reminds me of that Seiko 6138 Bullhead. Now, as I just mentioned, the Mecha Quartz variants use the Seiko VK67 movement, but the automatics use the Valjoux 7750 automatic movement. Now guys, when we're looking at the automatic versions, you can see they're both quite thick at 16 millimeters, but what's cool about the Bullhead is that it's actually kind of sloped, so it's easier to read when it's on your wrist. You know, just a bit of favorable ergonomics there. Now something that should be noted, not only are these watches thick, they're also all above 40 millimeters, with the Bullheads being 42 and the Standards being 44. Now all these watches use sapphire crystals and superluminova lume. I'll get a lume shot in here for you. And you can see that these watches come in really bold colorways. And you know, bright and bold kind of fits the whole retro racing chronograph aesthetic. I don't know if it's for me, that's why I'm kind of drawn to this more subdued brown burgundy variant. And again, if this were the automatic version, I'd be rocking it. Now, one thing I'll say is that the case finishing is superb on these watches. The angles are all sharp and tidy. And from a quality control standpoint, everything looks really solid and clean. Now, this wouldn't be a review if I didn't tell you my criticisms of these watches, and I really only have 2. Now, one thing I noticed about these watches after messing around with them for a little bit is that the reset pusher has kind of a lot of dead space, feels kind of squishy, till it finally clicks into place and resets the chronograph. And another thing I don't really like about these watches are the hands they chose for the subdials. I don't know, something about those big arrows doesn't really work for me, but I know that's just kind of personal preference. So guys, in conclusion, these watches seem to be kind of fun, modern takes on retro racing chronographs. And I think that's cool. I really love that these watches all have threaded crowns and 100-meter water resistance ratings. I love that they feel solid. They have sapphire crystals. You do not have to baby these watches at all. They seem like some watches that you could really wear every day. Now, what I will say is that these watches cannot be dressed up in any way. These don't seem versatile at all when it comes to wearing them in a formal occasion. They seem like some fun, sporty, everyday watches. But guys, as always, I'd love to hear from you. What's your take on the Straton Watch Company Legera racing chronographs? Again, I think this one's my favorite. It's kind of brown burgundy variant, but which one would you choose? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Leave me a comment. We can continue that conversation in the comment section. Again, I want to hear from you. And guys, I want to thank you so much for supporting the channel. How can you support the channel? Well, how perfect that you asked. Go ahead, click the link in the description below. Support the Time Teller channel by shopping at the Time Teller shop. I have everything that the watch collector like you needs. I have watches, watch straps, watch winders, watch toolkits even. It's really the one-stop shop for the watch collector like you. So again, click that link, shop around. It's people like you that keep me here on YouTube. I'll love you for it. And if you're new here, if this is your first time joining us here at the Time Teller channel, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by, but let's make this a little bit more official. Go ahead, click that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and it helps me out a ton. And while you're at it, please click that bell icon, turn on my notifications, your post notifications. YouTube does a terrible job letting my subscribers know when I upload, and I upload a ton and I don't want you to miss out. So please like, comment, subscribe, share this with watch collectors, anybody that you think would enjoy this video. Share it with them because it helps me out and I love you. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. All right, well, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel because there's a whole lot more where that came from. Also, I have no idea how YouTube works yet. Hopefully in the future, I'll get the hang of it, but I think there should be some recommended videos for you to watch. There might be one over on this side of the screen. There might be one over on this side of the screen. Who knows where they're gonna be? YouTube's always changing. Life is always changing. You know, there's a lot to learn about life. We'll save this for another episode. Anyway, click one of these videos, watch it, subscribe to the channel. I love you.